with fans is it feels like how it should feel. That's the Venom you want to see in a movie. As a true fan of the character, like as soon as you see him in the trailer, you're gonna be like, yep, they got it right. That's what I want to go see. I want to see that guy just go be badass, and so that's what he does, and I think they'll be really happy. They got it right. That's what I want to go see. They got it right. That's what I want to go see. They got it right. That's what I want to go see.
Venom is not a good movie. I can't believe there's people out there that try to convince me otherwise. Like, if you sat down and watched Venom and genuinely thought it was a good movie, like, I don't even see you as a human being. This movie is one of the worst superhero movies since The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Both have super inconsistent tones, bad writing, shitty editing, and horrible dialogue.
All right, laundry sheriff.
I can't, and not do my job.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, really? Incident? Volunteer for tests that more often than not end up killing people.
You're not so bad yourself, champ.
I don't even have to make a joke. Like, just listen to this dialogue. The dialogue is so bad, me and my friends even quote it to each other. Venom fits into these categories perfectly. But, wow, this movie is a disaster. I thought Sony would have learned their lesson by now, but they clearly haven't. And there's one man responsible for this. This fucking dude is Avi Arad. Avi Arad has been producing Spider-Man movies ever since the first one. He ruined most of Spider-Man 3, he killed the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, and now he forces a talented director like Ruben Fleischer to create a watered-down version of Venom for the big screen.
They got it right. That's what I want to go see.
Why is this guy still getting jobs? He's literally behind the two worst superhero movies in the past 4 years. Just look at what he did to Ruben Fleischer.
That's what he does, and I think they'll be really happy.
He looks like he wants to kill himself. Well, now that I'm done ranting about Avi Arad, we can move on to the movie. Number 1, the acting. So you may be asking, "Hey Iggy, what's so bad about Venom?" ? The answer is everything. This movie fails on almost every level. The only positive thing I can say about it is that Tom Hardy gave a fun performance. But even he knew this was a stupid movie. When one of your actors storms off set because of how bad the dialogue is, then you have a problem. Everyone in this movie is given horrible dialogue, and most don't even try to enhance the script. For comparison's sakes, let's look at a film like Aquaman, which has a similar problem and is even written by one of the same writers, Will Beall. But the difference is, in Aquaman, it's clear the actors care about the movie they're in, and it's clear the director gave them enough direction for the actors to manage to say those lines and not always sound like an idiot. Now, I'm not saying Ruben Fleischer is a bad director of actors, because I don't know, I wasn't on set. But it's clear to me, most of the actors, except Tom Hardy, didn't care for this movie and just wanted their paycheck. In most of his scenes, Riz Ahmed looks bored as hell. The only scenes with him that I found somewhat compelling were the ones where him and Tom Hardy were on screen. And honestly, those scenes weren't even that good. Like, the dialogue is still bad.
So I have to ask, how does that work, exactly the Life Foundation?
It honestly feels like they didn't even write a script. Like, they just told the actors to say whatever, and they only did like one take. But in comparison to all his other scenes, the scenes where he's with Tom Hardy, he at least looks somewhat interested in what he's doing. Every other scene with him is just so meh that you just feel like he didn't care. Same with Michelle Williams. Her performance is so half-assed throughout the whole movie. Both of them seem like they're just there for their paychecks. Now, I'm not saying they're bad actors, because I've seen them in good films before, but in this movie, they suck. Just thinking about it makes me feel tired. When you're casting people for your movie, you need to pick actors that really care about what they're signing up for. You can't just get, like, some random asshole to do it. You have to get someone who genuinely wants to be a part of this, and genuinely cares about his character, genuinely finds him interesting, and genuinely does something to help enhance the script. Patrick Wilson, for example, in Aquaman, he's given horrible dialogue. Same thing with Black Manta. They both have horrible dialogue, but at least they don't sound like complete idiots the whole time they're talking. You can really feel the emotion they're trying to give off. You can tell each actor is giving it their all. And obviously, that is not the case in Venom. Number 2, the plot. The plot in this movie is so uncooked, I honestly can't believe a studio would even release something. Okay, so I don't know if this is because of the editing or the script, but every scene is around 1 to 2 minutes long. For a script, you need time to develop things and make the audience interested. What kind of studio would cut a movie short? This happened to Batman vs. Superman, where a lot of necessary scenes were cut out. And now the same thing happens to Venom, which honestly might be for the best. But anyways, let me just show you how short each scene is. They even cut out a few establishing shots. Okay, Avi, stop cutting out stuff that serves the plot. Well, anyways, the movie starts with a rocket ship falling to Earth, and it shows the symbiote kill a few people and take over an Asian girl's body. Then Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams, who have some of the most forced chemistry I've seen in a movie, have an exchange of bad dialogue. Then Tom Hardy rides his motorcycle with some of the cringiest music playing in the background. Then Tom Hardy gets assigned to interview Carlton Drake, played by Riz Ahmed. Then he gets kicked out for trying to expose him for the stuff he did, in which he found on his girlfriend's laptop earlier in the movie. Then his girlfriend leaves him, even though she literally gets a new boyfriend in the next scene we see her in. Wow, yeah, really interesting. Yeah, really interesting. Anyways, let's move on with the movie. Okay, so after his girlfriend leaves him, he gets fired, and then it says 6 months later. And all this shit happens in the first 20 minutes of the movie. There's movies like Steve Jobs, where the whole movie takes place in 3 scenes. Now, I'm not saying every movie should be like this, but that movie made me care about the characters in 3 scenes, and that's because, aside from the great dialogue from Aaron Sorkin, it took its time to develop every character in the movie. Now, what I see in Venom is potential, which is even worse because it's not even used. Because you have a good director and good actors. Like, the villain could have been this really sympathetic guy who just wants to cure cancer. You could have added a scene where his parental figure dies from cancer, and that's what blurs his vision about all these human trials he's begun.
Oh shit! I got he's dead! Oh shit!
And maybe by the end of it, have Eddie talk to Carlton Drake and convince him it's not the way. Maybe even have a parallel between the two of them, where one of Eddie's parents dies from cancer, and have that just motivate him to become a better person, instead of killing a bunch of homeless people to find a cure. And maybe do something like Aquaman, where in the end, the villain and the hero have a conversation. No, but yeah, instead Carlton Drake is just crazy.
Oh shit!
And then they fight in a poorly done CGI battle. Number 3, the final battle. Okay, so you guessed it. The fight at the end is really just Venom versus bigger Venom. Okay, really? This is such an overdone concept by now. We've seen it in Iron Man and Hulk, where at the end of the movie, the hero fights a bigger version of themselves. And of course, the hero wins in the end. They try to do a gotcha moment where they have Eddie get killed near the end. But like, come on. Like, you really think Sony's not going to milk this property for more sequels? Then he comes back in a shocking twist and kills Riot. And then they show the Venom symbiote die. And he's back in the next scene with no explanation. I don't even fucking care anymore. This was literally just created to sell toys. Like, there's no point in this fucking shit. Like, why am I even talking about this? Wasting my time. Then Stan Lee appears, and I genuinely enjoy Venom's reaction to him.
Who's that guy?
Then Venom confronts this thug we saw earlier in the movie and eats him in a hilarious scene. Then the credits roll and some corny fucking Eminem song starts playing. You gotta be fucking kidding. This movie feels like a bad superhero movie from the early 2000s. Like, it's so weird to see something released like this today. As much as I miss movies from the early 2000s like Spider-Man 1 and 2 and the X-Men, you know, where it was all disconnected, it was more the director's vision than a studio's. Not that I hate the MCU or anything, I just loved how back then Sam Raimi was able to like do whatever he wanted really with Spider-Man in a self-contained story that didn't have to correlate with like the next movie for Thor and fucking Hulk or something. And I miss those days, but I don't miss the days with movies like Daredevil and Catwoman coming out. This movie reminds me of the two. I've sat down and watched this movie 4 times, and I feel like I lost a part of myself. This movie has fucked me in the ass so hard, and if you're a Spider-Man fan, you shouldn't accept this. How could any Spidey fan stand up for this movie? Like, you must be blinded by your love for the character. But I love Spider-Man. I have hundreds of comics with him. And, like, I'm still not blinded by this shit. Don't accept this movie. Don't think this is quality entertainment. If you think this is a good movie, I don't even see you as an intelligent human being anymore.
Venom,